There are a few more seats up here towards the front if anybody would like a seat. So that good test. Whoop, thank you. Test 1, 2, 3. Does that work? I would say I see 1, 2, 3 chairs closer to the front if anybody would like to sit. Still needs a seat, or there's a couple chairs over there as well. No? Okay, I got everybody's attention. Everybody got quiet. So. Good afternoon, everyone, and thank you for being here today to remember and celebrate the life of Kent Nolan Kampa. My name is Katrina. I am the other Rev in the family. And it is my great honor to lead us in this memorial today. It is my great honor and my great sadness, because I want to be clear that this was not the plan. Carol, you are like a 4D chess level project manager and planner, and this was decidedly not the plan, right? The plan was to go to the bookstore and find more books that you wanted to read to each other. The plan was to meet with Nikki and start discussing the video he was going to make for your band's new album. The plan was to host Deanna when she came to town the next week. The plan was for Cecily and I to invite the two of you over for dinner, where you'd talk to our neighbor Joan about her cool new, very accessible tiny house in the backyard, and it would inspire you to build your own little tiny accessible house on your open lot, and then we would all grow old together in Como. It would be beautiful. And you and Kent would be golden, because Cess and I are younger enough than you that, as you know, we're all losing our capacities. We're at least a decade behind you. So when the doctor said you can't drive anymore, no problem, we'll come get you. Where are you going? So that was the plan. Okay, the first 3 were your real plans. That last one was just my plan, which I had not officially cleared with you yet, but I was hoping you were going to be cool with it. So, right? But all of this was definitely not the plan. But it is now our reality. A reality that is making us all too suddenly and all too deeply well acquainted with these words from the poet John O'Donohue. He wrote this blessing poem called On the Death of the Beloved. Though we need to weep your loss, you dwell in that safe place in our hearts where no storm or night or pain can reach you. Your love was like the dawn, brightening over our lives, awakening beneath the dark a further adventure of color. The sound of your voice found for us a new music that brightened everything. Whatever you unfolded in your grace quickened in the joy of its being. You placed smiles like flowers on the altar of the heart. Your mind always sparkled with wonder at things. Though your days here were brief, your spirit was alive, awake, complete. We look toward each other no longer from the old distance of our names. Now you dwell inside the rhythm of breath, as close to us as we are to ourselves. Though we cannot see you with outward eyes, we know our soul's gaze is upon your face, smiling back at us from within everything to which we bring our best refinement. Let us not look for you only in memory, where we would grow lonely without you. You would want us to find you in presence, beside us when beauty brightens, when kindness glows, and music echoes eternal tones. When orchids brighten the earth's darkest winter has turned to spring, may this dark grief flower with hope in every heart that loves you. And may you continue to inspire us to enter each day with a generous heart, to serve the call of courage and love, until we see your beautiful face again, in that land where there is no more separation, where all tears will be wiped from our mind, and where we will never lose you again. Though we will not look for Kent only in memory, it is still a good and holy thing to remember. And in remembering, to celebrate and give thanks for the life of this magnificent wizard. So I invite my cousin Glenn, Kent's brother, to come and begin our memory sharing.
Katrina, that was beautiful. Katrina, that was beautiful. Band members, family, friends, thanks for being here. Under different circumstances, Kent would be really glad to see you all. My name is Kent Kampa. I was the youngest of Donald and Margaret Kampa. That is until Kent Kampa was born. I was 7 3/4 years the baby of the family. That title I gladly gave up and successfully became a middle child. We had a family of 4. Kent had an older brother and sister and me, and then we had Kent. Of course, I was a perfect mentor for him. He learned from my mistakes. Kind of a touch of full circle. That really only came to me, I don't know, like within a week or two. I happened to be thinking, because I was at Como Park, that I remember being here with my older brother and my older cousin Craig at an amusement park. And Craig was furiously arguing to get the ticket for under 12. He was a big kid, and they wanted to charge him for over 12, and he ferociously was fighting against it. And I was trying to think of what that event was, and it was a baby shower that my mom's family threw for Kent at Como Park. So 2 months before Kent was born, there was a shower for him at Como. So I think it was ironic that he had a life 30 years with his wife, less than a mile from the baby shower. And of course, we drove back home. We lived in LaGrange Park, Illinois at the time. We had all those baby gifts. We drove back there. I don't know if we have any Vikings fans here, but LaGrange Park is the hometown of J.J. McCarthy. Just wanted to throw that plug. Kent adored his wife, Carol, and they were one of the happiest couples I ever knew. He was so respectful, and he would talk about how talented Carol was, how smart Carol was, loved her, how artistic she was, how well she managed projects at work and dealing with people. It was easy to see how they enjoyed each other's time together every day, day in and day out. They, on occasion, they would jokingly banter back and forth, and foreign accents or different accents. His life was devoted comforting Carol whenever she had back pain or lift her spirits. He was a family cook, able to make anything from scratch: granola, spinach dip, zucchini bread. Carol also was a great listener. Kent would read aloud to her frequently. I think they would go through about one novel a week, and then he would post everything that you guys would read. And it was about 50 to 70 novels a year. Good listener, Carol. Yeah, Carol and Kent, they had so many dear friends, and were part of the local band community. It really was so touching to see the outpouring of support. From my perspective, I had no idea. I don't know if you were ever around when Wheel of Fortune was on and Kent Kampa was there as well, or if Trivial Pursuit was being played. I know what you're thinking. How did he get so smart? And how did he have such a repository of information? He was like AI before AI. Well, my friends, it was a natural ability. He had a great memory for words and music. In fact, he did a lot of theater and plays, drama in high school. He was the father in Fiddler on the Roof. He did stuff in college, so he had no problems learning the music or memorizing the words. But I think the other part of it too was kind of how he was brought up. So he was 8 years younger than me, the youngest, and then our mother was a homemaker. She managed the family schedule, especially meals. So we had dinners together every night. And so by the age of 4, he was part of these adult conversations that spanned, the history of the universe, the expeditions of Antarctica. So he just had that exposure early on. And then, of course, when I moved out, I happened to do the math here. He had 8 years of my parents by himself, God bless him. It almost killed all of them, but they depended on each other, and they cared so much for each other. So I'm going to go through just a few categories. If you guys have time. You're stuck with me, So let's talk about sports, that category. So believe it or not, Kent did gymnastics. So when he was little, he did gymnastics. He always had great eye-hand coordination. He did Little League, so you may have seen that. And I think he played right up until maybe 9th grade or so. And I remember seeing him play at Concordia High School. So he played baseball. He wasn't known for being a fast runner, however. But he did have great eye-hand coordination. I heard one time he was at Rosedale with my parents, and he was missing, and my parents didn't know where he was, and they looked down in the pavilion, and there was a crowd of people, and in the center of the crowd was Kent juggling. So he liked to entertain. So this category is called employment. So so from the moment Kent was born, he was instructed, you're going to work and save all your money for tuition, and he did just that. He had paper routes. He worked at Embers, I think, through high school and college. He worked, I think, a summer job in the grain mill, and he went to Concordia College, and he graduated with a secondary history teaching degree, and even though he was fully licensed and qualified, he never really pursued teaching, even though I think he would have been a great at it. Kent worked a good part of his career at AT&T as a telecommunications specialist. He would serve as a commentator type in large conference calls. And of course, this is before Teams and all that. A lot of the clients were like broke. Also, there might be people here that worked with Kent. And I would like to be fact-checked on some of that, because this is, sometimes my memory distorts things. And But anyway, he was a commentator, and I know stockholder meetings were one of it. Sometimes there'd be like exciting projects like movies being made and so on. But I think one instance that touched him, that touched me, and so I'm going to touch you with it, was, I don't know if you guys know Jimmy Schmitz. So he was like, he was an actor, LA Law, I don't know if you remember that. So he was an actor on LA Law, and he was coordinating, he was the main coordinator of some event and was hosting a conference call, and Kent was basically the commentator for it. And Jimmy, he had to come on right before the conference call to know the protocol and so forth, and Kent cued him in on that. And then after the call was done, Jimmy waited, and he personally thanked Kent, called him by name, and said, "Thank you, Kent. It wasn't good." So I thought he got a kick out of that. So moving on, and maybe you guys know this or have told, but Kent was extremely creative in his artwork. So he was always able to capture a story. I think you could look at anything, and it was more than just drawing something. There was a story behind it. And I know that he did a lot of work, and I was oblivious to this. I know he did a lot of work with some of the local band communities and doing some artwork for them and promoting when they played, and some animation for songs. So that was great, and I have a lot to catch up on. I've got some homework to do for that. But movies. Kent was a self-proclaimed movie junkie. He was addicted to movies, and I know this because I read one of his English papers, and this was currently while he was going through this, but I don't know if you guys know Siskel and Ebert, but they were movie critics, and I mean, Kent was like 7th grade, and he would critique these guys, you know. You know, and either he loved it or didn't most times. He loved Indiana Jones when that first came out. I think he just recently moved here and saw it that summer maybe 6 times. He broke out and bought, so he's like, I don't know, 9th grade, he bought a VHS when they first came out. And the VHS, the tuner had a dial on it. That's how early on it was. It wasn't even a digital one. And then he somehow got got a hold of the movie called Animal House. I think he said he watched that over 50 times. I tend to think he liked that one, but so one day, and this wasn't too long ago, maybe 10 years ago, you know, it seems like yesterday, but I was talking to him like on I don't know, like a Monday or something, and he said, you know, I'm really looking forward to Thursday night because I'm going to watch Gladiator. And he described the scene that he said, you know, when the Romans and the Germans are about to go into battle, I don't know if you guys saw that movie and remember that scene, that would make the hair on the back of my neck stand up. All I could think of is Arkansas Razorback at that time. So there was another movie. I mean, this will give you how critical he was. A movie called Pearl Harbor. I think it may have won Best Picture. He hated that movie. He hated it. You know, I loved it. I was a sucker. He said, no, you know, that was too much of a formula story. I fall for that stuff. He said, I enjoyed like the 12 seconds when the bomb was falling down, you know. And so another thing I wanted to mention is he was a great letter writer, and he knew that, and he got me started on a hobby of collecting presidential memorabilia.
His fault?
It's his fault.
The history major.
Yeah. So it was so important to me to get a presidential letter for getting an Eagle Scout and I mean, that was a big deal to me, you know, and for me it was Jerry Ford. I got a signed thing from Jerry Ford. Well, he wrote, for Christmas, he wrote a letter to every living president and asked if they could sign a photo or sign a letter back to him, and he got them all to respond. And and he did, his letter writing was phenomenal. I mean, he shared cookie recipes with Hillary, you know, and I think probably the other nice response he got from Bush 1, the HW, yeah. And he sent him a picture of, we had a cardboard cutout of George Bush, and Kent and I took a picture with this cardboard cutout of George Bush, and our son Nick was standing behind, and you could see him peeking around going, what the heck is going on here? And that apparently touched George Bush, and we got, you know, many personal responses back from him, and they wrote back and forth for a while. You know, he was asking him, you know, well, how do you feel about Dana Carvey, you know, doing you on SNL? You know, well, anyway, I know Kent loved road trips, and he did a few of those with Todd and his father and his friend Jeff. So I always had a good relationship with Kent, and as I did with our whole family, but something that was just remarkable for me is when our parents got to the ailing years where they couldn't take care of themselves anymore. And it happened over about 4.5 years where my dad had a stroke and was incapacitated. And we learned that my mom had vascular dementia and was not able to live alone. And we would tag team seeing her and checking on mom and doctor's appointments and hospital visits and taxes and setting up a trust and getting a financial advisor involved, selling a house So all these things, and the whole process was not a chore. We were in contact a couple times, almost every day, and usually after like an appointment we mutually went to, we ended up at Ted's. And he kicked butt and Wheel of Fortune there, and then we'd have a lot of dinners at Old Mexico too. And actually, after it was over, I missed that. So I'm about to conclude, if I can get through it. So, yeah, I'm going to forever miss Kent. And the holidays will be especially trying. He always made something special, like granola, spinach dip. What was that other one? Zucchini bread. Yeah. Yeah, and he would always get there right at the critical minute to save the day because no one knew how to make gravy, and no one knew how to slice the meat, but he always guided us through that. And I think, unfortunately it was cut short, but Kent lived a happy life, full of longtime friends, always saw the best in people, and I think he lived his motto to be good, help others, and love yourself. Amen.
Thank you, Glenn. The next set of memories is from one of Kent's longtime friends, Todd Hollingsworth, and he asked that someone read this on his behalf. So, Todd writes, Kent and I attended Concordia Academy High School in Roseville. In our first year, saw a big bust of a party where alcohol was served. Students were expelled and barred from extracurricular activities that season, and the rumpus included most of the senior class and 3 new freshmen, 2 of which were Kent and me. Kent, an unknown kid from Detroit, and I, a Presbyterian Freemason, were marked as ne'er-do-wells, but Kent's sharp wit, bright intellect, and good grades soon proved him otherwise. Kent and I spent hours watching VHS tapes, listening to vinyl, and hitting up the used bookstores and record shops, learning about the history and geography that had escaped me in the classroom. Kent really turned me on to the classics, the must-sees and the quintessentials of all the media at a time when my tastes were far more on the shallow side. Much of my appreciation and knowledge of the arts I really do owe to Kent, and his undying patience and persistence to teach, share, and enlighten were a cornerstone of his life. Kent, my father, and I also put over 3,000 miles on an old station wagon, driving up through Canada and the length of the St. Lawrence Seaway to Nova Scotia and Prince Edward Island, then down the East Coast through Maine, New York, and back. It was the first time I rode a subway, saw Times Square, dipped my toes in the ocean, and made pilgrimage to Woodstock, Walden Pond, and Stephen King's home, with Kent providing the soundtrack. Later in life, Kent, Carol, Deanna Hansen, and I would hit the local music scene weekly. We passed notes and drawings during the shows and always got to know the bands after, and often laughed our asses off until our tummies hurt. I've known very few people in my entire life who were as smart, witty, kind, and endearing as Kent. We spent countless hours at Ted's Rec, the St. Paul Dive Bar, where patrons saw Kent run 99% of the Jeopardy categories weekly before they ever had a chance to think. Kent was a true Renaissance man, always a lover, not a fighter, politically correct and totally woke before it was a thing, a caring soul, and always hip to be square. Lastly, true confession, Kent and I often sneakily skipped out on semi-required events of our youth, like funerals, and other such things, simply to go drink at Keats's on West Minnehaha, where we sat on the porch swing, watched the cars go by, and pontificated at a time when life was all new and ahead of us. See you on the swing, Kent. Love, Todd. At this point, I would like to invite another longtime friend of Kent's, Jeff, to come forward.
Hello. Oh, can't do that. I met Kent in 1980 on the first day of 9th grade. 2 new kids, going to a new school. Neither one of us knew anybody. Kent needed a pen. Kent needed a pen. I had the big pack of big pens, 8 blue, 3 black, and 1 red. Being the ass that I was, I gave him the red pen. Kent, being Kent, was happy to have it. An instant connection was formed, and our friendship of 46 years began to form. I was lucky enough to have Kent in my life, every stage of my life. What started out as daily interactions at school, weekend hangouts, regular phone calls to 646-9415. We grew when I got a car. We went everywhere together. Frequent eating at Farrell's and Harmar, movies at Roseville 4, Twins games, baseball card shows, cheapo records, Radio Shack, and Video Update. Kent was the first person I knew that had a VCR, which led to many nights watching movies. Animal House 26 times. We stayed connected through our college years with frequent visits, lots of game nights, and several cross-country road trips filled with shenanigans and even drinks from Yogi Berra. I was with Kent when I met my future wife, and he was the best man in our wedding. As new homeowners, we'd often visit each other, working on projects or just enjoying happy hour. As our parents aged and health declined and they eventually passed, we supported each other. I always look forward to our regular lunch dates where Kent and I would talk about anything and everything for hours. Through the good times, the bad times, Kent was always there for me, and he just had a way of making things better. The good times were better, the boring times were better, and even the sad times were better. I just wish you could make this better, Kent. Thank you for being my friend for life. I love you. I will miss you till I see you again.
All right, and then Carol, would you please come and share some memories?
I will give it a go. All right. And of course, you know I'm going to video you. I'm going to be drawing all of you. This is going in my journal. Oh my goodness. Okay. And now I'm glad I got such a gigantic picture of Kent. It's going over my bed. Oh my goodness. Well, I've never understood how anyone gets up here, so I will do my best, and if I start bawling and pass out, you'll know what to do. Look at you all. Oh my gosh. I want to thank each of you for being here. I want to thank each of you for being so kind to us and so loving to us and so beautiful. Your faces reflect how beautiful you are. And you guys have been so generous, and this community is the most amazing group of people that anyone could wish for. It's so much more than I ever even knew was possible in life. And so thank you deeply. Thank you. Thank you. All right. Okay, I just have a couple things, separate things I was going to say. And I know we all know Kent well. Okay, so Kent and I were married when we were both 31, which I highly recommend. It's a great age. and before I met him, I know most people know I never wanted to be married, and I ran like him like a linebacker to grab him. So as soon as I saw him, I got it. I was like, I see what's there. But I always wanted just, travel and books and good lovers who liked books, and that's all I really wanted. And because I just didn't think I'd find what I was looking for. What I wanted, as some people know, are the qualities of my 3 favorite book characters, which are Elliot Rosewater, Cyrano de Bergerac, and Willy Wonka. Yep, and my friends all know that when I wanted Elliot Rosewater from my favorite book of all time, which is God Bless You, Mr. Rosewater, from Kurt Vonnegut, which he's generous and patient and kind. And Cyrano de Bergerac, I had a huge crush on him when I was a kid, so yep, it's my favorite book growing up. And he was witty and brave and romantic. And Willy Wonka was a little strange, unpredictable, and fun. And I just thought, I want someone like that, And then a couple years into our marriage, someone congratulated me on finding it. And I think it was Todd. Somebody said, yes, you found your perfect person. I'm like, you're right, I did find my perfect person. He had all those qualities and may still have all those qualities. He was also clever. He's wicked smart, thoughtful, curious, sweet, funny. He'd make me laugh constantly. He was very modest and extremely, extremely sentimental, as we all know, and a great cook, so we all benefited from that. I also found recently a box that I didn't know we had of all the cards I ever made him and gave him. And the first card that I gave him for his birthday, October 17th, 1996, so we just started dating, it said, Kent, happy birthday. By now you must know that you mean everything in the world to me. Suddenly I'm looking forward to things in life that I never thought were very possible before. All of your personality seems to mesh so well with mine. Even when I feel embarrassed to talk about something, you always let me know I'm safe sharing anything with you, truly. It is so easy and so very common to play on someone's insecurities and manipulate them in a relationship, but you have never done that, not even in the smallest way. You are an intelligent, creative, beautiful, honorable man, and I truly know I am one of the very few lucky people to have someone as rare as you to love, and I will love you the rest of my life. And that has proven very true. I am still hopelessly and sweetly in love with Kent. And even though we all know him very well, because he was a very genuine person, that's him inside and out right there. I want to share just a few things about him that you may not know that made him additionally special. He kept lists of words that he liked. He also kept lists of cheeses that he liked. And he drew little pictures of them so that he could remember. He was endlessly curious, and he had a gift of finding interesting things to share with me all the time. He didn't like anything in the middle. He liked weird, horrible things and amazing high art. He was not good in the middle. He called it the creamy middle. He wanted the schlockiest, worst stuff and the best stuff. And he could talk on any subject in both of those areas. Where I brought art into his life, he brought music into mine, as you all know. And he always made the perfect playlist. Whatever we were doing, he had it nailed. He was perfect. His sense of taste and smell were extraordinary. He would do this weird thing that cats do where you like breathe through your mouth and nose. And I'd be like, and I'm like, can you taste the whatever? And I'm like, it tastes like garlic and I love it, you know? And he'd be like, it's got 27 ingredients, you know? So, and he could always, in restaurants, you could always tell like where in the process they added the ingredients, and he would talk to the chefs and they all liked talking to him. So he always talked about cooking was his love language. He also loved graffiti. He loved graffiti art, and he loved trains with graffiti art, and he'd walk down the railroad tracks and take pictures, and he built relationships with graffiti artists all over the country and shared art with them. He also shared art with people around the world for his Oprah art. They would write to him and want to buy his Oprah cards. And so I walked into a bar in another state, and there was one in the bar across. I was like, what's that? And they're like, oh, there's this artist in St. Paul's. Kent Kampa, he's amazing. And I'm like, Yep. But he was always remained so modest about he was always surprised by that, and was always so modest about his talent. He's just more of an appreciator of everyone else and wanted to convey it. He loved plants and genuinely mourned whenever a tree or a large plant was cut down. He always worried about the animals that were in them. And he loved every animal in our yard, every animal in everyone's yard. Every squirrel, rabbit, bird got a name and a backstory. He thought they were cute and funny and followed their lives with great interest. And they showed no fear around him. They were ruthless. They ate our gardens, and he just thought it was adorable. And they would just sit by him as he gardened, you know. And then Kent loved trivia. He was, like we said, he had an incredible memory. He was an indispensable member of our trivia team, the Patrick's Roadhouse. And he would be the tiebreaker when we'd always send him up there. He'd be shy about it, but he'd always win. And he loved being a house husband. He said it was his dream job. And he loved being home. He loved cooking. He loved keeping house. He loved it. He loved being a house husband. Okay, there are two ways that I picture Kent now. I picture him sometimes as a gentle ghost hovering around me, sitting with our little ghosty kitties as I read to him. And then the other one is I just picture him this beam of light just traveling the universe, just finding amazing things that he'll just tell me about when I join him again. Finally, my sweetie, he was a deep thinker, very deep thinker, and a deep feeler. And he loved very deeply. He was a perfect example of still waters run deep. Yet he moved through this life with such joy and such a light heart. And I can't think of a more beautiful way to live your life. Thank you, my love. And thank you all again for being here today and for loving Kent and for being so kind and generous to us. We love you. Thank you.
Thank you, everyone who's shared their memories and all these beautiful experiences of Kent. I thought it might be fitting to let Kent have the final words about himself today. First, he famously lived by his personal creed that's printed on the back of your programs: to be good, to help others, and to love yourself. He once explained that to a friend in this way. Basically, it breaks down like this: 3 points that support the whole. Be good is a guide for my behavior in general. Help others is my position of action toward other people. Love yourself is my responsibility towards myself. It involves things like self-control, pursuit of interests, acknowledgement of strengths, willingness to forgive yourself, and so on. Similar, but a little warmer than respect yourself. And then just a few days before he died, Kent spoke another really beautiful articulation of his beliefs and how he has striven to live his life. In the midst of a discussion of the current state of the world, when Carol was caught up in the weeping and the gnashing of teeth, Kent said, "I still have great faith in people. We are all so beautiful. I know folks are scared, but no matter what happens, no matter what the people making the big decisions decide, it's we who support each other. We keep it all really going. It's all of us who love each other, who help and include each other. Each one of us is responsible for showing up every day with the love and the light, and that will never change. People are strong and amazing. You just have to have faith in them." There is an ancient wisdom of abundance that understands that a light like this, when it is divided and borrowed, is not diminished, but actually amplified. I believe that Kent understood this wisdom down to the marrow of his bones, and he lived his life with an abundance of kindness and generosity because of it. Each of us is here today because Kent shared his light with us at some point or at many points along the journey. So we're going to close this portion of today's gathering with an embodied experience and visualization of this. So hopefully everyone, when you came in, received a little LED. And I'm actually we're using LEDs to not get Mueller in trouble with the fire chief. But Kent was old school. We're going to imagine this is old school. So if you've got it on, maybe turn it off, because I want us to see, we're going to pretend these are old school candles where the only way to light them is to share the light from candle to candle, right? So I will come along here in a second. We're going to start with all of them off. I'll come along the outside row here, and with the person on the end of each row, I want you to dip your LED towards this to pretend you're lighting it off of it, and then turn the light on. And then turn to your neighbor and let them do the same dip, and then turn the light on, and we're just going to keep going like that until everybody's candle is lit. That makes sense? Any questions? Okay, so I'm going to start here with Carol, and then we'll just make our way through the room here.
Drop your fire. Don't burn your fingers. Too late.
So, beloveds, look around. Maybe hold them up so we can all see. Look at all the light that Kent gifted to this world. And even as his own light has gone off wandering in the universe, look at all the light that still remains in this world and will continue to remain in this world so long as we tend it and carry it forward and continue to share it with each other and with those around us. As Kent himself said, it's we who support each other. We keep it going. It's all of us who love each other, who help and include each other. Each one of us is responsible every day for showing up with the love and the light. So Kent, thank you for loving yourself enough to truly arrive before you departed. Thank you for loving us, for helping us, including us, and sharing your light so generously with all of us. May you continue to inspire us to enter each day with a generous heart, to serve the call of courage and love until we see your beautiful face again in that land where there is no more separation, where all tears will be wiped from our mind, and where we will never lose you again. To Kent. You are all very welcome to keep this candle and to bring it home with you. And to use it anytime you need a reminder of Kent's light. And I know there's a few in the back that maybe didn't get some, so if we can maybe care for each other and share a little bit so that every household at least gets to bring one home tonight. Maybe we can figure that out. But this concludes this portion of our gathering today. But we continue this time of holy remembering, sharing more stories and some more food. I believe there's desserts now. And continuing to support and care for one another here until about 7 o'clock tonight at Mueller. And then if you would like to continue, you are welcome to gather at Ted's in St. Paul at Larpenteur and near Lexington after we have to depart from this space. But thank you all again for coming. Thank you.